It is 4 in the morning. The house is completely silent. And then you hear it, coming from somewhere down the hallway in the dark. Hack, hack, hack. That awful, retching, choking sound. You sit straight up in bed, your heart pounding, because for a few terrifying seconds it sounds like your cat is dying. You stumble out of bed and there it is on the carpet. A wet, slimy, cylinder-shaped tube of packed fur. If you are watching this video right now, I want you to know something. I know exactly how helpless that feels. And I know how frustrating it is to spend money on expensive tubes of petroleum-flavored hairball gel, or those crunchy hairball control treats that promise everything and change absolutely nothing. Your cat still hacks. The tubes still show up on the rug. Nothing gets better. And maybe you have already been to the vet about it. Maybe you sat in that exam room, you described the hacking, and you were told the same thing that almost every cat parent in the world gets told. It is normal. Cats get hairballs. Just buy the gel. And you drove home with a receipt in your hand and absolutely no answers. But what if I told you that hairballs are not actually normal? What if I told you that a truly healthy cat should almost never produce a single hairball in their entire life? And what if I told you that the real solution, the thing that stops them for good, is sitting right now inside your kitchen pantry and your refrigerator? If you saw the thumbnail of this video, you saw the promise. Today, I am going to show you exactly what to add to your cat's bowl to stop the hacking, dissolve the fur that is already trapped inside them, and fix the real reason it keeps happening in the first place. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As a veterinarian, hairballs are one of the most common things worried cat parents bring to me. And here is the hard veterinary truth that almost nobody tells you. We have been trained to treat hairballs as an inconvenience, a normal cat thing, a laundry problem. We hand you a tube of lubricating gel, we send you home, and we never once ask the most important question. Why is that fur getting stuck in the first place? Because here is the thing, my friends. Cats have been swallowing their own fur for millions of years. They are built for it. A cat with a healthy digestive system swallows fur every single day of their life, and that fur travels quietly, smoothly, all the way through and comes out the other end in the litter box. You never see it. You never hear it. A hairball is not the sign of a cat who grooms too much. A hairball is the sign of a gut that has stopped moving properly. So today we are doing a complete masterclass. Grab a notebook, because I am going to give you a simple, practical plan. First, we are going to stop the hacking tonight. Then we are going to build a digestive system so strong that the fur simply never gets stuck again. Before we go one step further, if you are already thinking, wow, I have never heard this before, do me a huge favor right now and hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. That little bell is the only way you will actually see the next masterclass when it drops. And if this is already making sense to you, drop a like. It genuinely helps us reach more cats who need this. Let's start with Chapter 1. Putting out the fire. When your cat is hacking and retching, there is a wad of packed fur sitting in the stomach or the upper intestine, and it has become too dense and too dry to move forward. Your cat's body has only two choices: push it down or throw it up. Right now, it cannot push it down. So it comes back up and it drags irritated, inflamed stomach lining with it. We need to lubricate that mass and get it moving. And no, we are not going to use petroleum jelly. Those classic hairball gels are made from petrolatum, which is a mineral oil. It works by coating the fur so it slides through. But here is the vet warning that comes with it. Mineral oil is not absorbed by the body, it passes straight through. And as it passes through, it can bind to the fat-soluble vitamins in your cat's food. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E. It grabs them and carries them out. Used every single day for years, that can quietly starve your cat of the exact vitamins that keep their skin and coat healthy. Which makes them shed more. Which makes more hairballs. Do you see the trap? So instead, we go to the pantry. And we reach for 100% pure canned pumpkin puree. Now listen carefully because this matters. I am not talking about pumpkin pie filling. Read the back of the can. It must say 100% pumpkin, with no sugar, no spices, no nutmeg, and absolutely no xylitol. Pumpkin pie filling is loaded with sugar and spice, and it is not safe for your cat. Pure pumpkin is a miracle for this exact problem, and here is the mechanism. Pumpkin is packed with soluble fiber. Soluble fiber absorbs water and turns into a soft, slippery gel inside the digestive tract. That gel wraps around the packed wad of fur, hydrates it, softens it, and gives the intestinal muscles something to grip onto so they can push it forward instead of backward. Let me give you a real-world example, because I see this constantly. A cat parent comes in exhausted. Their cat is bringing up a hairball 2 or 3 times a week, and they have been buying the gel religiously for a year. And when I ask what the cat eats, the answer is always the same. Dry food. Only dry food. Free-fed, sitting in a bowl all day. That cat is not grooming too much. That cat has a dry, slow, inflamed digestive tract, and no amount of gel on earth is going to fix that. When we change the bowl, the hacking stops within weeks. Every single time. So take a teaspoon of pure canned pumpkin. Just 1 teaspoon. Mix it thoroughly into their wet food so they cannot pick around it. Do this once a day for the next few days. Do not give them a giant spoonful, because too much fiber too fast will give them loose stool. And what if your cat turns their nose up at pumpkin? Some cats will. Then we go to the refrigerator and grab plain, unsweetened, 100% canned or cooked mashed butternut squash, or a small spoonful of plain mashed sweet potato. Same soluble fiber. Same gentle, gel-forming action. Now, we have lubricated the passage, but there is a second half to immediate relief that almost everybody forgets. Water. I want you to think about what a hairball actually is. It is fur that has become dry, compacted, and cement-like. Why is it dry? Because your cat is dry. My friends, this is the single most important sentence in this entire video. Cats are descended from desert animals. They evolved to get almost all of their water from the bodies of the prey they ate, which was roughly 70% moisture. Their thirst drive is genuinely broken. It is weak. It is unreliable. And what do we feed them? Dry kibble, which is about 10% moisture. A cat eating only dry food lives in a permanent state of low-grade dehydration. Their digestive tract is dry. Their intestinal contents are dry. And when fur enters a dry, sluggish gut, it does not slide. It sticks. It packs. It becomes a hairball. You cannot fix hairballs without fixing hydration. It is not possible. So here is the correct way. Tonight, start adding water directly to their food. If you feed wet food, add a tablespoon of warm water and stir it into a gravy. If you feed dry kibble, pour a splash of warm water over it and let it sit for 5 minutes so it softens. And if your cat refuses plain water in their food, use a splash of unsalted, unseasoned bone broth. And please hear this vet warning, because this one is serious. Never, ever buy the bone broth from the soup aisle at the grocery store for your cat. Human bone broth is loaded with salt, onion, and garlic. Onion and garlic are highly toxic to cats. They destroy red blood cells. You must use a plain, unsalted, cat-safe bone broth, or simply boil plain chicken bones in water at home with nothing else added. It costs almost nothing, and it is completely safe. And here is one more free trick that costs you absolutely nothing. Move their water bowl away from their food bowl. This sounds strange, but it is real feline behavior. In the wild, a cat instinctively avoids drinking water that sits right next to a carcass, because that water is where bacteria breed. That instinct is still hardwired into your cat today. A water bowl placed right beside the food bowl is a water bowl your cat quietly avoids. Move it to another room entirely. Put a second one somewhere else in the house. And use a wide, shallow, ceramic or stainless steel bowl, never a deep, narrow plastic one, because a cat's whiskers are exquisitely sensitive and a deep bowl presses against them and makes drinking genuinely unpleasant. Most cats are chronically underhydrated for no reason other than a badly placed, badly shaped bowl. Fix that tonight. We are covering a lot, so if this is landing for you, take 1 second right now and tap that like button and make sure you are subscribed with the bell turned on, because Chapter 2 is the part that actually stops this permanently. Chapter 2. Building the engine. Here is the biological truth I need you to understand. Fur moves through a cat by something called peristalsis. That is the rhythmic, wave-like squeezing of the intestinal muscles. Squeeze, release. Like a hand milking a tube of toothpaste. Those waves are what carry the fur down and out. When peristalsis is slow, weak, or uncoordinated, everything sits still. And fur that sits still becomes a hairball. So the real question is not how do I lubricate the fur? The real question is, why did the engine slow down? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is inflammation in the gut wall. Most commercial dry cat foods are built on carbohydrates. Corn, wheat, rice, potato, peas, pea protein, tapioca. Cats need these carbohydrates in a way that I can only describe as not at all. A cat is an obligate carnivore. Their entire digestive system, from their teeth to their extremely short intestinal tract, is engineered for one thing: meat, protein, and fat. When we pour cheap starch into that system every day for years, the gut lining becomes chronically irritated and inflamed. The muscle wall stops contracting cleanly. Motility drops. The engine slows. And the fur just sits there. So we have to rebuild the gut. And we do it with 3 things from your kitchen. The first is probiotics. Good bacteria. The absolute easiest way to introduce them is a small spoonful of plain, unsweetened yogurt, or better yet, plain unsweetened milk kefir, which is a fermented milk drink absolutely loaded with live cultures. Now here is the massive veterinary warning. You must flip the container over and read the ingredients. You are looking for one deadly word: xylitol. Sometimes it is renamed on the label as birch sugar. It is an artificial sweetener used in diet and sugar-free yogurts, and it is extremely dangerous to pets. You must buy 100% plain, unsweetened, unflavored, with 0 artificial sweeteners. Nothing else. Start with 1/4 teaspoon mixed into their food. That is it. Some cats are lactose intolerant, and if yours is, skip the dairy entirely and buy a simple cat-specific probiotic powder and sprinkle a small scoop over their dinner instead. What does this actually do? Those good bacteria colonize the gut lining. They calm the inflammation, they repair the wall, and a calm, healthy gut wall contracts powerfully and rhythmically again. The engine restarts, and fur that used to sit and pack now gets squeezed steadily along and out. The second ingredient is enzymes. When food is not fully broken down, it ferments, it irritates, and it slows everything down even further. A good cat-specific digestive enzyme powder, sprinkled right over their food, helps them completely break down their meal so there is nothing left behind to sit and rot and inflame. And the third ingredient is the one I want you to pay the most attention to: omega-3 fatty acids. Dry cat food is extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, because those come from the cheap grains and rendered fats used to manufacture it. Omega-6s are inflammatory. To balance that, your cat desperately needs omega-3s, which are nature's own anti-inflammatory. And omega-3s go rancid the moment they hit air. So even if the bag claims to have them, once that bag has been sitting open in your pantry for a week, those oils are dead and useless. Omega-3s do 2 beautiful things at once for this exact problem. Inside, they calm the inflamed gut wall so motility returns. Outside, they feed the skin and the coat, so the hair follicle grips the hair properly and your cat stops shedding so heavily in the first place. Less shedding means less fur swallowed. Less fur swallowed means fewer hairballs. Do you see how this all connects? The cheapest way to do this is a can of sardines. Make sure they are packed in pure water with absolutely no added salt and no oil. Take 1 small sardine, mash it up, and mix a small amount into their food twice a week. It is an enormous, powerful dose of pure omega-3s and clean protein. If your cat hates fish, use a pump bottle of 100% pure salmon oil, kept in the refrigerator so it does not spoil, and give 1 squirt over their dinner. If you are still with me, and you are starting to see that this was never really about hairballs at all, hit that like button for me and subscribe with the bell on, because there is one more chapter and it is the one that ties everything together. Chapter 3. The fur itself. Everything we have done so far has been about making fur move, but there is a step even before that. Stopping the fur from ever getting swallowed. A cat swallows fur when they groom. That is unavoidable and completely natural. But how much they swallow depends entirely on how much loose, dead hair is sitting in their coat, waiting to be pulled out by that rough sandpaper tongue. And a cat with a dry, brittle, undernourished coat sheds constantly. Their follicles are weak. The hair lets go too early. Their tongue collects an enormous load of dead fur with every single pass, and every bit of it gets swallowed. So we build them a better coat. And we do it from the inside, with fats. Skin and hair are made of lipids. If your cat is eating dry, stale kibble from a bag that has been open for a month, the healthy fats in that food have oxidized. They are gone. That is exactly what the sardines and the salmon oil we just talked about are doing. But you can add one more thing. A plain, unseasoned, fully cooked egg yolk, once or twice a week, mashed into their food. Egg yolk is rich in biotin and healthy fats, and it is genuinely one of the best coat builders on earth. Just make sure it is cooked, never raw. And then, do the simplest thing of all. Brush them. I know your cat may hate it. Start with 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds a day, with a soft rubber grooming glove or a gentle slicker brush, right after they eat, when they are relaxed and happy. Every gram of dead fur you pull out with that brush is a gram of fur that never goes into their stomach. It is the most direct, most effective hairball prevention that exists, and it is completely free. And if you have a long-haired cat, a Persian, a Maine Coon, a Ragdoll, please hear me. Daily brushing is not optional for you. It is not a nice extra. Your cat is carrying 2 or 3 times the fur load of a short-haired cat, and their tongue is pulling all of it down into a digestive tract that is exactly the same size. You are the only defense they have. And one more thing, because most people never think of this. Watch for over-grooming. A cat who is stressed, anxious, bored, or in pain will groom compulsively as a way to self-soothe. If you notice bald patches, thinning fur on the belly or the back legs, or your cat licking one spot obsessively, the hairballs are not the real story. The stress is: add vertical space, add a scratching post, add 10 minutes of real play with a wand toy every evening. A calm cat grooms less. A cat who grooms less swallows less fur. All right, my friends, we have covered an enormous amount today. Pumpkin, water, bone broth, kefir, enzymes, sardines, salmon oil, egg yolk. And I can see you already, standing in your kitchen tonight, about to put every single one of those things into your cat's bowl at once. Please do not do that. Here is the golden rule. If you dump 7 new rich ingredients into your cat's dinner tonight, I promise you, you will be cleaning up diarrhea at 3 o'clock in the morning. A cat's digestive system simply cannot handle that much change that fast. And ironically, you will have made the exact problem you are trying to fix even worse. The beauty of this approach is rotation. So here is my bowl formula. Every day, pull out slightly less of their normal food to make room, and add just 3 things. Pick 1 hydrator, a splash of warm water, or a spoonful of unsalted bone broth. Pick 1 gut healer, a 1/4 teaspoon of plain kefir, or a scoop of probiotic powder, or a teaspoon of pure pumpkin. And pick 1 coat builder, a little mashed sardine, a squirt of salmon oil, or a bit of cooked egg yolk. That is it. Rotate those 3 categories through the week. It takes 10 extra seconds a day. And now, the hard truth I owe you as a veterinarian. Please listen closely, because this could save your cat's life. Everything in this video is for the normal cat who coughs up a hairball every few weeks. But if your cat is retching several times a day, or trying to bring something up and producing absolutely nothing, or vomiting repeatedly, or has stopped eating, or has stopped using the litter box, or seems lethargic and hunched, stop. Do not reach for pumpkin. Go to your veterinarian immediately. A large trapped mass of fur can cause a complete intestinal blockage, and that is a genuine surgical emergency. Frequent vomiting can also be a warning sign of inflammatory bowel disease, of a food allergy, of hyperthyroidism, or of something else entirely that no kitchen ingredient in the world will fix. Cats are absolute masters at hiding pain. By the time they show you, it is often already serious. Home remedies are magic for prevention. They are not a substitute for a diagnosis. So let's bring this home. Hairballs are not a fur problem. They are a hydration problem, a gut problem, and a coat problem. Fix those three, and the hairballs simply stop happening. Not managed? Not reduced. Stopped. You do not need expensive gels. You do not need special treats. You need water in their bowl, good bacteria in their gut, real fats in their coat, and 30 seconds with a brush. The fact that you sat here and watched this entire video, learning, paying attention, refusing to accept that your cat just has to suffer through this, tells me everything I need to know about the kind of person you are. Your cat is unbelievably lucky to have you. If this masterclass gave you hope tonight, please do me one last favor. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. It is genuinely the only reason this channel can keep reaching cats who need help. Now go give your cat a gentle scratch under the chin for me. Stay safe and always trust your instincts.